Hi there, I'm Michael Darby with TÜV SÜD, and I'm here at the TCB Council workshop in Baltimore in the USA. And I'm joined by friend and colleague Bernie Fuller. Bernie?
Yeah, hi, thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's Bernie Fuller, and I'm here representing Blockchain Verified.
Very good. Now, that's an interesting name, Blockchain Verified. Here at the TCB Council workshop, it often seems to come up. There's often on a slide, for example, I said Canada, they mention it on their slides. I've heard about it before at other TCB Council workshops, but I'll bet you there's a lot of people that don't really know much about it. So what is a blockchain verified?
Okay, yeah, great. Thanks for asking that. So what it is actually, I've been coming to TCB Councils since 2007.
Yeah.
Been going to MIC workshop, been going to Red CAs, and many times we've been here, people have been up there talking about fake test reports.
Yeah.
What do we do? How do we solve this? You know, there's technical guidance notes written about it. There's KDBs. There's how do you recognize a fake report, etc., etc. And it's been talked about virtually every single workshop for every year since then.
Yeah.
And we've never had a good solution because, as you know, if you take a test report, that's just a normal Adobe test report. It's been PDF'd and it's maybe it's got a password protection or an e-seal or an e-signature. It's really easy for anyone to modify those. And of course, with exhibits on the FCC website being non-confidential, people are downloading the test reports and they're easily able to modify them. There's so many different ways you can do it. You can clone a document and then you can just go in and all of the signatures would be exactly the same as the original, but all of a sudden, it might be Mickey Mouse who signed the test report.
Right, yeah.
They probably would.
He's a great reviewer.
Yeah, well, exactly. But, they'll go in and they'll change the equipment to their model and everything like that. So now we have Blockchain Verified, which what we actually do is we would go in and actually grab or create a hash of the document.
Okay.
So this is a binary number which represents all of the information in the document. And we take that hash and then that is attested to the blockchain. We use Ethereum blockchain. It's the biggest, it's the best. Mm-hmm. It's the most stable blockchain out there. And then that hash is then on the blockchain. It's there forever. It's immutable. It can't be changed.
Right.
And so that provides the reference point for us then when someone verifies a report or a document later on, that we can compare and then we can actually say, hey, even though this PDF document says the signature's valid and it's okay, actually it has been changed. Right. And so it's a totally different way of authenticating a document and saying, hey, this is the same as the original from the accredited lab, or no, actually it's been changed. But it looks like for you, it's okay,
right?
Because Adobe says it's okay, but no, it's not. And that's the difference between maybe where we are today and actually using Blockchain Verified.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, for me as a certification body and a test lab and speaking at these events like the TCB workshop and the Red CA, I've actually been speaking about the topic of fake text. Yeah, I've spoken at MIC in Japan and at the TCB workshop because it's such a big deal. And like a test lab, we don't want our documents copied. And we as a certification body, I want to spend my time doing a technical review, not wasting my time looking to see if the document's copied. And so why are I said Canada? Why is it on their slide?
Yeah. Okay. So great question. So actually, I said I've talked about this at the last 5 TCB councils now. And basically, they've been having a lot of fake reports turning up on SpectraWeb. Yeah. They've been having a lot of Canadian representative letters. They've been having a lot of test reports. So they're trying to find a solution which will stop this and which will flag up straight away, this document's fake.
Yeah.
And they haven't had that to date. No one has. So now we've been working with them. I first talked to ICED, as I say, 5 workshops ago. I went to Ottawa and we had a workshop and they liked what we were doing.
Nice.
At the time, ICED were looking at considering maybe making, submissions to be non-confidential, like FCC.
Yes.
They haven't done that yet,
No,
but I think they've been talking about it.
Yeah.
So obviously they understand then if people are able to download, reports easily from the ISED website, then they would like a way of being able to protect it. So, they're taking the ethical approach of not wanting fake reports. So we've been working with them. We've been running, what we're running now is a ISED pilot project. And ISED's thought with this is to get industry to try this because, as you say, still, even with it being mentioned by ISED 5 times at 5 different workshops, there's still people saying to me, "Oh, what's that? What's the ISED pilot project? What's blockchain verified?" So it takes a long time to get this. It's new. There's always been this traditional, people thinking that blockchain is Bitcoin, and there's this propaganda, that's not good. This is nothing to do with cryptocurrencies. This is blockchain. So ISED are using it as a way to get industry to participate. It's being run free. It doesn't cost labs to do it, or manufacturers to do it, and it's giving a lot of information back to ISED that we can then use to see how can we do this. So, is this something that can be automated into ISED submission process? So we're working on that. Where are we going to go from there?
Brilliant. Any other regulators?
So we were invited to go to the MIC workshop. So we presented, in Japan, in Tokyo. So MIC, they also have had a lot of problems with fake test reports, and we're working with organisations in Japan. We have customers out there that are using it to protect their reports. We actually have one customer who has a big database of MIC reports, MIC regulations, and it's on all of those documents. So it's really starting to get a lot of traction. And also, just before going from MIC, so we have big manufacturers, some of the biggest organisations in the world now, realising, okay, this is great, we need this. Why? Because they are losing up to an hour a day. They say to me, I get contacted every day. Many of the Asian regulators are coming to them and say, can you validate this report? Is it fake? To us, it looks like it might be fake.
They contact us and ask us the same thing.
Exactly.
We've got to go and research it, compare it to the original and say, it looks right, or no, it looks different.
Exactly. And that can take up to a week or two. But now, every single regulator or anybody that has that document anywhere in the world, and it's not dependent if it's for Brazil or if it's for Saudi Arabia, it's every test report for every test inspection certification process can, within 2 seconds, see this has been changed, or no, this is the original. And that's the beauty of it. We have such a, the testing is so fragmented, all this testing we need to do. Documents are the same wherever. So that they don't need to be specific. We don't need a QR code for Mexico or a QR code for Chile. We can have one QR code instead of having 15 or 20 on a report. We can have one.
And for us as a test lab, every time one of our reports gets faked, it potentially affects our credibility, because that test report is potentially going to be used in the wrong way, or our certification body certificates. And again, like I say, as a certification body, you kind of want to be spending your time being technical, not checking if something's been copied.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I've been in this industry for nearly 40 years. I don't think I've ever heard of blockchain. It looks more like 50. But I've never heard of blockchain verified, or blockchain solutions. But then maybe is that just because it's such a new topic?
It is such a new topic. I mean, it's state of the art. We talk about state of the art, don't we, in tech industry often. But there's also another thing to it. If you think, so there are many initiatives that are going on cross-border within the European Union, etc., with Australia, with USA. There's many initiatives where people are trying to work on solutions. But many of them are still Web 2 based. So, they're using trusted third parties to store documents. And then, if you want to verify it, you have to go there, you have to take them, you have to page by page check. And people have been working on these solutions for 4 or 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So of course, if you go to them when they're at the end of a 6-year period of trying to implement something and say, well, you know that's out of date and I can do it much quicker, people don't really take to that too well. So it's a process.
It's a tricky sell.
It's a tricky sell in that way. But then everyone sees that the advantages. So it's actually a very easy sell.
Yeah, once you see the benefits. Well, Ben, it's been really interesting. You know, most of the time I would talk about EMC or radio or SAR or cyber security. It's quite refreshing to talk about this interesting new topic. So yeah, thanks again from Baltimore in cloudy USA. As again, I'm Michael Darby, TÜV SÜD.
Buddy, I'm blockchain verified.
Cool. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Thank you.